But yeah, man, let's start this convo though, man. Our confidence level in the offensive line starting unit.
As we sit right here.
Man.
Well, we don't know who's going to be starters completely right now.
If you had, so if we're, I guess under this practice right here, who do you envision as the starting 5 offensive linemen?
Here's who I want. I want Dan Moore. Okay. I want Dotson, Kendrick Green, Trey Turner, and then Zach Banner. That's who I want. But who's it going to be? Probably Chooks, left tackle.
Okay.
Probably Dotson, maybe JC, Trey Turner, and then Zach Banner.
So all but 2. Just 2 flip. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know why my confidence level should go up randomly for the first group that I named because there's 2 rookies in there.
Yeah, I was like, man, all right.
But that's how I feel about it.
Okay, so you're more confident if it was 2 rookies in that lineup.
Not more confident. I'm more pumped. I don't know how to put it where I'm more excited. Like if they're starting early on, you feel like they're going to bring something good. Like there's a reason we drafted these dudes. And when you watch their tape, you watch their highlights, they bring that bruising mentality that we've wanted with the run game that we didn't have last year. That's why I would get amped up. So confidence level, I think it'd be more off hope, I guess, where I'm just like, one, it can't be worse than last year, but also bring the young guys in, fresh dudes. I think there's going to be like a different type of spark.
Now, I do always wonder when we say it can't be worse than last year, do we really believe it can't be worse than last year?
I believe that, yeah.
Because in theory, it really could be worse than last year. But technically, what we can't have a worse running game last year because we had the absolute worst running game last year
in the past 50 years of like NFL history.
That was factual. Like that's not speculation. That was documented. So that part can't get worse. But I still like the protection part. Like that could get worse. That's my thing. I'm like, I could like as much as I don't want it to be worse. My confidence level in the starting unit, and I think of this starting unit as Zach Banner, Trey Turner. I think of I'm like with you. I feel like it's gonna be JC
to start off.
But I do
talked about that multiple times.
I feel like it ends though with Kendrick. But then left guard Dotson, and I feel like it's gonna be Chooks at left tackle instead of Dan Moore. But with that as a whole, it does not make me feel very confident. Like, you already know how I feel about the tackles positions. That uncertainty, I feel like, scares me the most.
That goes with protection.
Yes, definitely goes with protection because we know if that part isn't taken care of, it can throw a wrench in the whole program. You know what I mean? We know we got to run the ball, but at the same time, we need Ben to be able to still be Ben. And he can't do that if he doesn't have time. So when I think of these tackles and their inexperience, that's the part where I'm just like, and it's not only inexperience and lack of options. At right tackle, if Banner can't be the guy, and we're in week 3,
we got the dude that dropped the pass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Joe Haig. Yeah. You say that the first highlight we bring up is just, he dropped the pass. Not, man, he could block. Like, this is not a good vibe.
He's been a journeyman.
Yeah. And at left tackle, if Chooks doesn't fan out, then it's a rookie, Dan Moore. And it's not even a high pedigree rookie.
Some people are high on him, though. There's like hidden tapes out there where he's just dominating.
I understand that. I just know from what I was seeing. Now, granted, it was still OTAs and minicamp, but still, that didn't just show up and just look like, oh, yeah, that's the best player on the field right now. That's the best tackle that we have
like how people were feeling about Claypool last year.
Exactly. So that's another part. Whereas when we talk about just my confidence level in the starting unit, I feel like if I had to put it on a 1 to 10 number value, I give it a Pittsburgh 6. That's my biasness kicking in. That's
so
a Pittsburgh 6.
4.
I mean, if we're being real about it, just because it's like, dude, we know how bad the offensive line was last year, and that was still with higher quality players. Like Al, as much as we give Al a hard time, Al still went and signed for how much to go to play in Baltimore. Like, based on offensive linemen that signed, that's still one of the higher upper echelon signings. I mean, he signed for more than what Trey signed for. Just think about that, for example. And Trey is a more decorated player right now.
Well, and just due to the scarcity of the tackle position, That's probably why he signed for a little bit more. And yeah, it's just weird because we looked last podcast. It's in terms of left tackles with big names, it's Russell Okung and Jason Peters. That's about it. Anyone else is probably like dudes that are fringe players. Like you could probably go a little bit more in depth. So that's probably why he signed for a little bit more. But it goes to your point. Then he's probably better than a certain percentage of the league. I don't want to put a number on it because I do think Al's on the downside, and Ravens may have made a bad move with that. But yeah, is he? I don't know, man. That's why. Here's my point. Okay. That's why I'm excited about the line, because if we brought Al back, it's like we know what we're getting. At least maybe Chooks or Banner could give us something different.
Yeah, but that something different could be something worse. That's what I feel like everybody fails to realize when we talk about something different. We all just, and that's why I say the Pittsburgh 6. This is like the Pittsburgh optimism. Like, oh yeah, man, Chooks could be a better left tackle than I was at left tackle. I'm just like, I don't think it works that way. I really don't. Like, Al was a really good left tackle in his day, right? And then obviously he slowed down, but he still can do some things to get the job done. Whereas with Chooks, I'm like, I haven't seen that, and I definitely haven't seen it at left tackle. It's a lot different at left tackle, man. Big time difference.
This is an interesting question then. What about Chooks at right tackle last year versus Al at left tackle?
I like Chooks at right tackle.
That's what I mean. Like, if you compare the two based off their play last year, like, who do you think just had the better season? I know it is tough to grade like the offensive line as individuals, but
the thing was this: I don't think either one of them were drastically better than the other one. That's what I'm saying, and that's what Chooks playing well and Al playing bad, quote unquote. I don't think it was that big of a gap. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Gotcha. Whereas, like, if we're talking Dotson versus DeCastro, I've told you this plenty of times. Like, yo, it was a gap. Like, Dotson was a better player. When you talk about Matt Filer was a better player last season based on the health, however we want to word it, but they played better. Now, that to me was a bigger jump right there, a bigger gap. But in terms of Al's performance versus Chooks' performance, I mean, I'm sure in the chat, there's some people that don't even feel like Chooks did good at all last year.
Oh, PFF just completely tore him up on the broadcast. I think it was the Steelers-Ravens game. They rated him as like the worst right tackle.
No way. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. But let's see what the chat says.
But he started off good. He held JJ Watt pretty good whenever we played the Texans.
Yep.
But I honestly can't. I just remember the offensive line as a whole being like shit, especially second half of the season. That's what I remember.
Bad, man. It's hard for anybody to get praised like that, man.
Yeah, that's what I remember. And then them showing the slow-mo highlights of Al getting roasted by like Myles Garrett. And I think it was in the Bengals game, the dude on the end was tearing him up too.
I forgot oh my goodness. Because he has his number there, man. Lawson.
Yeah,
it was Lawson out there was getting after him, man. But yeah, we're going to look in the chat, see what everybody else's confidence level is first. But shout out to Ryan B. He just joined the Upper Room. So, Ryan, welcome to the Upper Room. Yes, indeed. Yes,
and he's got a contribution and a nice comment.
Oh, shoot. All right. I'm
been listening to you guys since last season and finally caught a live. Thanks for making my work days a little bit more enjoyable.
Oh, man.
Thanks for the nice comment and thanks for the contribution,
Absolutely, man. We appreciate the love. Now, Hunter, all right. So let's see. Alex Mathis, first off, says that he gives the offensive line 7 out of 10 in terms of his confidence. And he also shares your sentiment. We can't get worse from last year. But I think we can. I definitely think we can, you know.
Yeah, that's probably the difference because I don't know where I could put a confidence level just because we don't know what these dudes are going to do together, really.
Okay.
But I just like the upside. I just do. I'm more excited because I don't think it can get worse than last year. So confidence level's tough. I'm just excited.
So, all right. So we're going to keep going through the confidence level because excited, hopeful, and confident are 3 different things. That's why I ain't asked about excitement level. I asked about just confidence because confidence is different. It's different. Like, you got to be able to look and say, yo, I believe that this unit right here can get it done.
We still pulled off 12-4 with where we were at last year. Probably should have been 13-3. If it's just a little bit better and the running game's as good as we think it could be, that's what I'm thinking as the team as the whole.
No, we're talking offensive line.
I know, I get it though. I get it. It's tough to separate though, because if we think if the offensive line can just improve the running game, then the running game should improve the passing game then.
Nah, I mean, in theory, sure. But you still would have to start with the confidence level of the offensive line in terms of, do you think that they can get the job done or not?
It's tough to say because we've only seen Banner play X amount.
Right. So if it's tough to say, does that mean your confidence level isn't high? Like, for example, we haven't seen Najee Harris in the NFL stadium yet, right? But if I ask you your confidence level that he could be RB1 right now, what would you say? 100% confident, right?
Sure.
You haven't seen him play an NFL game. You haven't seen him in a preseason game. You haven't even seen him take a practice snap, like a legit, like you've seen warm-ups because that's what they show on the highlights, but you haven't seen legitimate practice reps yet. But you will sit here, I will sit here, and everybody, well, I'm different because I got to see him, but everybody will sit here and say that they are very confident he could be RB1. That's the difference. Whereas when we're talking O-line right now, you see how we're all bouncing, well, this can help that, or what about this to that, or what about if we did this with this? Like, so the base of it sounds like it's not a lot of confidence in it.
I understand that, and I think those feelings are very warranted.
I'm just saying, it's not a bad thing to not have confidence in your offensive line. I feel like you're malfunctioning yourself because you got that Steeler in you, where you like, it always has to be. Like glass half full, always has to be perfect and great. But then your eyes are telling you, bro, like, I know what I'm seeing here. I know these names. I don't know some of these names. Doesn't give me that confidence. It's like you got that tour and you're pulling yourself back.
Well, I honestly think being one of the worst offensive lines last year and basically revamping it is one of the harder things too, because
I agree. But did we revamp it though?
I don't know. I mean, we have how many new starters now?
When I think of revamp, I think of like a positive revamp. Like, I don't think of like, when I say revamp, I think of like good. Whereas I think of rebuild, I think of like, all right, this could be whatever. This could be a little dicey here, but it's new faces. That's why when you say revamped, I'm like, is that like in a good tone or just new?
I do think it is in a good tone. I mean, it is new, but we're just going to have to wait and see with all this stuff. It's tough.
It is crazy with Najee. Zero wait and see with Najee. It's rookie of the year with Najee. It's 1,500 on the ground with Najee. He's going to change the face of this offense. But with the offensive line, it's wait and see.
I think it is. because
you don't have confidence in them, right?
It's tough to say. I have confidence in Ben. I have confidence in what the Steelers have done.
I just asked about
all
the
this
offensive
time.
line, bro.
But like I'm pumped about Kendrick Green. I don't see what's wrong with that.
No, you could be pumped. I'm just saying, are you confident in the group? We didn't say individuals, remember?
Yeah.
We said in the group as a whole.
What's my I don't know. What's my confidence level? I'm always positive about it.
I would just say you could be positive, but you don't seem confident. I'm positive about it. I'm not confident.
I'm confident it's going to be better. I'll put it that way.
I'm not confident it's going to be better.
I'm confident it's going to be. I think that's the best way to put it. I'm confident it's going to be better.
Yeah.
Confident it's going to be randomly top 10 in the league. No.
Okay.
No, not that. But can we be top 20? And what difference does that make for our team next year? It could be a big difference.
All right. Listen, I hope you're right. I want you to be more right than me. I just don't see it.
Because go ahead.
Okay, no, I was going to just looking at the
No, we can look at the comments because I was just going to say maybe our defense took a step back a little bit with some of the pieces that we were missing.
Mm-hmm.
Losing Mike Hilton, losing Bud Dupree, but we are getting healthy with Devin Bush coming back, and just overall healthy compared to what we were at the end of last season because Joe Hayden missed the playoff game as well.
Mm-hmm.
But so if that took a little bit of a downturn, I think with the offensive line, if it's getting improved, like my confidence level's through the roof, it's going to be better.
Okay.
And we have all these pieces back on offense. Najee Harris, like that's going to be up. So like we should be at least going 12-4, 13-3. Well, I guess you got to add a game, so it's going to be 17 games. But that's how I'm feeling.
I like it. You're funny though, bro. Like you're even just then, you could just see the difference in your confidence level in terms of Najee versus how you still speak on the offensive line, bro.
It's not going to be top 10, but could they be they be top 20? Why not, man? I mean, there's got to be a reason we signed Zach Banner to what was it, $4 million a year?
Yeah.
He's talented too.
But think about what tackles get paid in the NFL. You just said it right there, $4 million a year. Al, off of a bad year, is getting what?
But Zach Banner's unproven. That's the thing with him.
I'm just saying. So when you say he signed for $4 million a year, as if like that should give me like more confidence about him, we still haven't even seen him play, and that's still not a ton of money for tackles either.
That's being smart. That's just being smart for the Steelers. I'm being serious.
All right, bro.
I just don't think it can get worse than last year. I think it's only going to get better. So that's where my confidence level is.
Okay. I look at it and say, man, I could definitely see it getting worse than last year because if Chooks, who I don't think was a better player than Al last year, goes over to left tackle and he can't play left tackle to the extent that Al could, that makes it better. I mean, that makes it worse. Excuse me. If JC Hassenauer isn't as good as what Pouncey was later in the year, I know people, the snap. I get that part, but what about the run block, or the pass block? JC won't doing that to the level that Pouncey was doing that at. So that could be a step back. Trey Turner, we talked about Trey. Good Trey versus healthy DeCastro. Good Trey isn't as good as healthy DeCastro. Now, we know what bad DeCastro looked like last year, but we also saw what bad Trey looked like last year as well. Now, we're all under the impression that Trey will be better, which we definitely hope. But even with healthy Trey, it's still not going to be this level of play that DeCastro could bring that uplifts everybody around him. That's not what Trey does. So once again, that doesn't make me feel like it makes it better. And then at right tackle, you go from Chooks, who, like I said, different opinions on him, but some people think he was straight. Some people think he was bad out there. But you put in Zach out there, who we don't even know if he can be better than what Chooks was last year. So to me, I'm like, yes, it could very easily be a way worse offensive line than it was a year ago. Easily could.
Okay.
I don't want it to, but it easily could, man.
Okay.
Yeah. But hold on. Because I did say we're going to get to the people real quick, man. Let me read what they said, man. Donald's at 7.5 out of 10 in terms of his confidence. Victor, he's with you. He says he's actually pretty confident in him. All right. Cameron says my confidence has gone up. When we got Turner, I think he will help more than David DeCastro. Steven is at a 6.9. Luke says a 3 out of 10 after DeCastro was released. Man. All right. Steven says he wants what you want, though, Deke. He wants them to be as good as you think they could be. Alex says he's giving him a 7 out of 10. All right. Okay. And that's MC99, the GOAT Hassenauer. Gonna put his name out there, man, get some respect on it. But he says he would prefer Kendrick Green if he is ready. I think we agree on that.
I feel the same way about Kendrick Green and Dan Moore as I did with Buddy Johnson. I just like those dudes to be starting right off the bat.
Yeah. And now Brendan says it can always get worse, LOL, which for a fact it could be. And Andrew says it could be worse, but it can't possibly be ranked lower. Like I said, can't be ranked lower in the run game, but in terms of the other stuff, it can. King Starboy says 6 out of 10. All right. Donald brings this up about the pass. He says pass protection will be sketchy, but will improve. Now, do you think that this is going to be a better pass blocking unit based on that? Because I think it's better as a run blocking unit, but I think they take a step back in terms of pass blocking.
Yeah, I can see that because Kendrick Green was, if he's playing. And even, Dotson, he got graded highly in both run blocking and pass blocking. Yeah. No, I could see that and that's even probably Zach Banner's forte a little bit more too. Dan Moore, that's what people are talking about with him. Now, Chooks, I don't know. Is he, what's he more of, pass or run?
Chooks is this the thing. So in theory, Chooks should be a better pass blocker because he's more nimble, more athletic. He should be. Doesn't mean that he will, but in theory, he should be. And that's kind of why they said what potentially could have been the reason why he struggled at right tackle, because he's not as physical. He's not as, I don't want to say tough because that just comes, I don't like the connotation with that, but the physicality, the physical nature that you need at right tackle, he didn't have that. So they think he'll be better suited at left tackle. We'll see though.
So yeah, I get that. My thing is if the running game's going and we get this balanced attack going where we're back in the top 15, top 10 and rushing the ball, all of a sudden we have a balanced attack. All of a sudden we're the offense is
from worst to first like that.
No, the offense is. I'm talking about the running game.
That's
the running game. Now
we had the worst. We were ranked 32nd in run game.
That's what I mean.
So we're gonna go from worst to first.
I think we made it a priority, especially like with the offensive line. Now going back to the pass protection though, are they going to be better pass blockers? I don't know, but I think the improvement in the running game is going to help the passing game. So, and I mean, like, you know what I mean? Are they technically better pass blockers than some of the dudes that we had last year? But the running game is going to be better. And I think with that makes them better pass blockers because we're going to be able to throw different schemes at them, little play action, do different things on offense that we couldn't last year.
I hope it goes like that. I really do. I feel like
I think it's this osmosis thing that I'm thinking that the whole offense, as long as the running game is better, which it seems like that's what we were trying to do with this offensive line. then the pass blocking is going to be better. The passing game is going to be better.
But now, do you really feel like they were trying to improve the offensive line with the moves that they made, though? Because we all sat here and said, man, we feel like they could have spent a little bit more money on an offensive lineman. Or we felt like, man, maybe you could have drafted offensive lineman a little bit earlier. Now, we're not complaining about the players that we had. We've already like cleared that up just based on how the board fell. But it's still like when we talk about, oh, they really tried to improve the offensive line. It's like, technically, they did not really try to improve this offensive line. They improved the running back position. They improved skill position. But offensive line was still kind of the makeshift back burner style. Like we talked about it, how, okay, they signed a BJ Finney and they kind of act like that's going to be enough, you know, in terms of here. Oh, all right, we draft Kendrick Green, but we're going to move his position. So he's not even playing his natural position. But hey, man, that'll work like this. Then you get a tackle in the 4th round. It's like, that's not to me saying that, hey, we were really trying to improve this running game. So that's why my confidence of when we keep talking about it, I'm just like, it isn't there because they didn't show enough resources. They didn't put enough into there for me to feel like they really wanted to improve it either.
I get what you're saying, but my thought is just almost in a way addition by subtraction.
Yeah, except you didn't add new pieces. You just moved the piece that you already had. Chooks going from right tackle to left tackle, but still being a part of that offense line. That's not addition by subtraction. It's not.
We got some young dudes, though. That's the thing. Could this be what we talked about before? Just like the new era. Like this could be the start of something, maybe.
I'm hoping. I pray it goes like that. I do.
Okay.
Because if it doesn't, it gets real bad. So I'm hoping that it's more like what you're saying versus how I'm seeing this thing. I feel like the way we're looking at it right now, you're more looking at it like through a Walt Disney movie. Like, could be a little bit murky right here, but you know nobody's going to die. You know it's always going to end positive, right? I'm looking at it like I'm watching a day going action, drama, thriller, horror movie. I'm like, God, I hope it's not going to be like that, but I see the killer sitting right there. And this, you know, innocent person just walking right to the killer, doesn't have a clue. Oh, man, it's going to end bad. That's when I'm watching it, that's what I see. But I'm hoping it's more Disney. I need it to be more like yours. Now,
I don't have too much. Here's my thing. I don't have too much of a reason to think otherwise because we've always pulled it off. Like,
now,
you know what I mean? But we've always been relevant.
But I'm glad you said this. Now, because we're not talking relevance in terms of the team. I'm not saying that the team isn't going to win games, but in terms of competing for a Super Bowl, that's the part where I'm looking at. That's the part where I speak from. But with this offensive line, because I've heard, and I was talking about this on one of my other shows, where they talk about, whoa, man, we've seen it before. We've had to revamp the offensive line. Man, remember when Beach took over as starter? Remember when Al took over? Oh, man, we've seen Matt Fowler. What about Chris Hubbard? What about BJ? The difference was this. You're putting one of those guys in there next to 3 or 4 Pro Bowlers, 2 All Pros, right? In terms of when they were all healthy, right?
And DeCastro.
You had Pouncey, you had DeCastro. Ramon was still doing his thing. Marcus Gilbert, he was really good, right? So it's easier to plug in one guy here or there, right? It's a lot easier if Gilbert goes down to put at Matt Fowler when you have all these other studs up there. But the difference this year compared to all those other years is we don't have multiple studs on that offensive line right now. We don't have that. That's the difference. We got Trey, and we're hoping that can come back, but still just one Trey. Whereas back then, it was 3 of those guys. Well, think about it, even back then, it was still 3 of those guys. So even right now, you're naming 2 guys, but it's still 2 in terms of being optimistic. But we haven't seen anything in terms of recent proven, right? In terms of Dotson over the whole course of the season, and then Trey coming off of a good season, right? That to me is the bigger reason why my confidence level, I don't give him the benefit of the doubt like how typically we would, right? Because in the past, like you said, we've seen it, but it's always been one piece here. Plug and play, not a full makeover.
So yeah, the confidence level thing's weird for me because I'm confident, like I'm a 10 that the offensive line is just going to be better last year because my points of addition by subtraction. And I don't think if Rooney's making this mandate, if Tomlin's talking about it, and just the offense as a whole, having Canada be the offensive coordinator, it seems like we're making this big push. Like we can't do what we were doing those last like 7-8 weeks.
I agree
on offense.
I definitely agree, man.
So I am giving the benefit of the doubt in the way that we didn't put our 1st round or 2nd round pick to an offensive tackle. We didn't sign someone. maybe they believe in Banner like that. Maybe they believe in the center position or the left, like moving Chooks over. I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt because it is such a pressing need. Rooney made the mandate.
Yeah,
Thomas talked about it.
Yeah,
they may believe in these dudes and think they can get it done. That addition by subtraction mentality. Like, we don't have Pouncey anymore. We don't have Villanueva. Unhealthy DeCastro's gone. Maybe they believe in these young dudes stepping up. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Now, Vince brings up a good point here. And Vince, we appreciate your support as well. Vince says, I was a 6'9" ragdoll, right? who cares how much he got overpaid? If Banner stays healthy, he will be our best lineman. Now, do you?
I saw the comment and I lost it.
Yeah. So he feels that a healthy Banner can be our best offensive lineman next year.
Sure. We just don't know. I mean, I would lean Dotson. I mean, obviously.
None of us gonna say Trey. I mean, shouldn't we be hoping it's Trey? We're gonna need Trey to play like Trey, to play like Pro Bowl.
We
Trey.
need everyone, but who's gonna be the best offensive line? Banner's got that upside though. I mean, we've talked about it. You know, first round talent and everything. He just got overweight and then bounced around team to team. Last year was his big opportunity. It just sucks that he got hurt.
It definitely was
because we could be talking about a different story with Banner right now, where he's like the staple right tackle for us. And like Chooks being the left tackle would be way more unknown, but maybe it would be less of a concern because we have Banner at right tackle. Dotson had a nice little rookie season. We bring in a veteran in Turner. So like the holes, going back to what you're saying with DeCastro and Pouncey, when we had them on the line and we would try to piece the line together, it was less of a concern because we had those two dudes. Maybe we'd be telling a different story if Banner didn't get hurt last year.
It was always just one guy though, right? It was always just one. It was never multiples of those guys. That's my thing, man. That's the part that makes me just so uneasy because it's easy to say put whoever out there when you have two legitimate all pros, right? Marquise Pouncey and David DeCastro were legitimate first team all pro guys. So you knew, okay, man, I don't care what guys I got to throw out there. These dudes right here, they can make everybody better. Where are we getting that from right now? Like, we think Dotson is going to be a good player, but are we saying that Dotson is going to just elevate everybody? We talked about last year, we didn't see that, right? We said he played well, but it wasn't like he mauled people so much to the point where, oh man, O-line just looked drastically different. Like, was it Quentin Nelson, the Colts, right? When he got there, it was just, whoa, that thing is different. Just changed their whole outlook. Dotson played well, but he wasn't doing that. And that's the part where I'm just like, where are we going to get this drastic elevation of productivity from in that group? As it pertains to last year, that's the part. Because I'm not saying that this team, that this group needs to be better than when all those guys were healthy. No, but better than last year. That's for me where I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think anyone does.
Yeah.
I lean more optimistic. I guess you got the maybe a little bit of a more pessimistic approach.
Nah, man, I got my black and you know what I'm looking through.
I guess that's it because I like I don't know. Because who knows? Maybe they could be top 10.
Well, no, I prefer the unknown in this scenario compared to what it was last year. But me just preferring the unknown doesn't make me feel like I'm more confident in the unknown, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like the unknown for you, it gives you more confidence in the group because it's like, well, I haven't seen them play bad, so I'm going to give them benefit of the doubt. Whereas for me, I'm like, well, I haven't seen them play good, so that's why I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt. So I think that's the little bit of a difference there. But yeah, either way, I think we both agreed that change was needed, and we are glad to at least see that part of it, man.
Yeah, change was needed for sure. Yeah, because I'm just trying to think of the other position groups, like if you were going to do conference levels and stuff.
Yeah. Because like if I were to say, okay, confidence level in the running back room, we would all feel like, we're very confident. Confident in the starter. Man, very confident. Confident in the depth. We're very confident. We talked about inside linebacker, right? We said not necessarily as confident in the starters, very confident in the depth, though. So with offensive line,
I think that's the thing because whenever we were talking about linebacker, I felt like because we knew what Spillane was, we knew what Vince Williams was, we knew what Devin Bush was, so we could talk about that a lot easier and saying like, okay, now my confidence level is so because this is I know what's gonna I know what Spillane is, I know what Vince Williams is. But like with the line, I just don't. That's the thing. I just don't know. I like it a little bit though. I like the uncertainty.
I would like it if everything else was perfect for us. I just don't like it right now, man.
Like, and this is not saying, like I was saying earlier, this is not saying this is going to be a top 10 offensive line and we're going to be coming out guns blazing. Can we just maybe crank it up to top 25, top 20?
Now, John Devine brings up a good point here. He says, the Steelers O-line is in trouble when it is now worse than the Bengals offensive line. You could definitely make that case that on paper. Now, we haven't seen, even though the Bengals made new additions and stuff like that, I still need to see that in stadium to believe it. I'm not believing it just yet. But, dude, I mean, our O-line is just crazy for us right now, man. Well, I guess not. It's crazy for me because when I joined, my perspective has always been this O-line being really, really good.
Yeah, you caught us right at that.
Right, you said that's the outlier. That wasn't the norm for us.
Yeah, we've had shoddy offensive lines for most of Ben's career.
Like, oh my God. And I think that's what makes me even more nervous because now I'm just like, well, he's older now. He can't.
It is, his game is definitely different. Like last year, I thought he had this more mental approach with how he was doing the short passes, and especially early on in his career.
Yeah.
How we were controlling the offense and controlling the clock. It's just different. So yeah, we shouldn't have wanted a shitty offensive line when Ben was young too, because he was getting beat up like no other. And we definitely don't want it now later in his career like this. But I have nothing else to like go to where it's like this somehow this is gonna be fine. Okay. Especially when we compare it to last year, which I don't know, man. 08, I don't know. 08, 07.
It was like bad.
It was so bad in 08, dude.
And Joel literally just put that in the text. He was like, yo, 08 line was bad.
We won the Super Bowl though.
It's crazy.
It was that was easily the worst offensive line in the league. He would take a drop back, man. It'd be 2 seconds. It would just be crazy. But yeah, we don't want that now. We didn't want it then, but now we don't want it now.
But 08 Ben could move a lot better than 2021 Ben, man. 2021 Ben, he had a lot that he sustained throughout his playing years, man. Like, we don't need that type of vibe right now, man.
We don't.
Oh, goodness, man.
I think it goes back to what I was saying, though. If this was such a concern, we saw how we finished last year. Mm-hmm. I don't think we would just be okay with, hey, throw these guys out here. I don't believe in them. I don't have faith that they're gonna make a jump.
But no,
maybe they've seen something. It goes back to even like Pierre too.
So let me. But I can address that though. Because I've said that same thing with certain people that make those type of decisions. Like, oh man, does this mean that you're just super confident in the guys you have? No. The response was, sometimes these are the players that are available to you and you take the best person that you can get at that time. It's not necessarily that you have the utmost confidence in this group. It's just that, man, at the time, this is the best thing that I can do right now. And we know that this might help us as a whole, even though it's not going to improve this group. And I might not have any high level of confidence in this group. I know his impact is more than what this group is going to be right now. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's a vote of confidence that they didn't address offensive line early in the draft or through free agency. It was more so just the product of the circumstances. It was a result of that. In terms of the draft playing out how it did in the first and second round, we talked about the board at 24, then the board at 55. We talked about why it played out like that. But then also free agency. Remember, we didn't have a ton of money early on. So they couldn't go out there and do some of the things that we thought they should do. So that's the other part of it. Is not necessarily the decision makers are confident in these groups. No. That's just how it worked out at the time.
Could I say incomplete then for I'm confident it's going to be better.
I did see someone say that in the chat too, incomplete earlier.
It's like, just give me a week or two. Like, just let me see it. If we're getting blitzed left and right, it's like, all right, now my confidence is down to 2s. But it could be the opposite, where it's like, holy hell, this looks like a complete 180 from last year. It's kind of like a cop-out answer. It kind of blows, but
it's cool though, because that was just the first part of it, right? Just the O-line as a unit. But now let's just talk about the individual starters.